Hey everyone, welcome back to Wheel Reverend. Today we're taking a long look at Honda's 2025 CRF300L Rally, a machine that captures the adventure spirit in a lightweight, accessible package. When people think of rally bikes, they picture Dakar racers ripping across deserts, tall suspensions soaking up everything in their path, riders standing on the pegs for miles. The CRF300L Rally channels that DNA into a bike that regular riders can own, ride every day, and still get a taste of rally freedom. It's more than just a dual sport. It's a true gateway to adventure. The first thing that strikes you about this motorcycle is how approachable it is. Honda designed it with real riders in mind, are people who need a commuter during the week but want something that can handle mountain trails or dirt roads on weekends. That 286cc liquid-cooled single is humble in numbers but big in character. It produces smooth, usable power, with enough torque down low to chug through technical sections and enough top end to cruise comfortably at highway speeds. The 6-speed gearbox is well spread out, so you don't feel like you're stuck revving high on the freeway, and at the same time you've got the shorter gearing to manage climbs and tricky trail sections. This is where Honda's refinement shows that they know how to make a single that doesn't buzz your hands to sleep. Thanks to that counterbalancer. Riding the CRF300L Rally feels natural. The wide handlebars give plenty of leverage, making tight turns or sudden corrections easy. The tall suspension travel means you can glide over potholes, ruts, rocks, and uneven pavement. Riders often comment that the bike feels planted but not heavy, which is impressive given the tall stance and rally-inspired design. At just over 330 pounds, it isn't featherweight, but compared to larger adverb bikes it feels incredibly nimble and confidence-inspiring. Honda gave the Rally a clear identity. While the standard CRF300L is stripped down, the Rally has the extended fairings, windscreen, and a larger fuel tank that really change the experience. That Rally fairing isn't just for looks up, it genuinely improves wind protection, letting you ride longer without fatigue. The slim seat design is inspired by motocross, but the longer seat pad also means you can shift positions for comfort on longer rides. The suspension is one of the big talking points in 2025. Honda stiffened the setup slightly, giving riders more support on rough terrain. The show-off fork up front has enough travel to soak up big bumps without bottoming out too easily, while the ProLink rear shock balances comfort with off-road performance. This is one area where Honda could have cheaped out, but instead they delivered suspension that feels much better than you'd expect at this price. For new riders, it's forgiving. For more aggressive riders, it can still handle spirited trail use, and if you want to upgrade later, the platform welcomes it. Another detail worth mentioning is ground clearance. Nearly 11 inches between the skid plate and the dirt gives you confidence to take the Rally places where many small displacement bikes would hesitate. Logs, rocks, deep ruts, it shrugs them off. That's one of the reasons this bike feels so much like a mini adventure machine. Combine that clearance with a turning radius that makes tight switchbacks easy, and you've got a dual sport that excels both in the city and out in the wild. Braking is handled by hydraulic discs with ABS. On pavement, ABS is a safety net, preventing lockups and emergency stops. Off-road, Honda gives you the ability to switch the rear ABS off so you can slide the bike when needed. That dual character safety on the street, freedom in the dirt, is exactly what dual sport riders look for. Ergonomics are smart. When you sit down, you feel upright and in command, with a good view over traffic. Stand up on the pegs, and the bike feels balanced, letting you move naturally with the terrain. The seat height is on the taller side as just over 35 inches, so shorter riders may need to adjust or lower, but the narrow seat front makes it manageable for many riders. The design deserves some time too. Honda nailed the Rally look with the tall front cowl, twin LED headlights, and aerodynamic shrouds. It's aggressive without being over the top. The LEDs not only look modern, they perform well at night, giving you a clean white beam that's more confidence-inspiring than older halogen setups. The instrument panel is compact but complete, with speed, tachometer, fuel gauge, trip meters, and a clock. Everything you really need when you're exploring. Honda also thought about practicality. The Rally has foldable passenger pegs, grab handles, and small anchor points for luggage. Riders who want to strap a duffel or mount soft panniers will find it easy. It's not a long-haul touring machine in the traditional sense, but with 3.4 gallons of fuel capacity and efficient fuel injection, you can easily cover over 200 miles between fill-ups. For many riders, that's the difference between worrying about the next gas station and focusing on the ride itself. The community response to the 2025 update has been interesting. Some riders debate whether the added cost over the standard CRF300L is worth it, but most agree that the Rally's wind protection, longer range, and suspension refinements justify it. Beginners love it because it isn't intimidating. Veterans love it because it's a platform you can modify and take further. Install racks, bigger tanks, upgraded shocks, and suddenly you've got a lightweight adventure bike ready for cross-country trips. Price is another point in its favor. With an MSRP starting at about $6,499 plus destination fees, it's affordable compared to most adventure or rally-styled bikes. Many competitors in the adventure class start thousands higher, with more weight and complexity. Honda keeps it simply: no electronic ride modes, no traction control to toggle, just rider skill and a well-designed machine. That simplicity is one of its biggest selling points. Fewer electronics mean less to break when you're far from home. Maintenance is straightforward too. Oil changes, valve checks, chain adjustments, it's all accessible. Honda's reliability reputation plays a big role here. Riders know they can trust this engine to run reliably for tens of thousands of miles with basic care. And because it shares parts with the CRF250L and CRF300L family, aftermarket support is already huge. You can find racks, protection parts, windshields, seats, and suspension upgrades easily. When you ride the CRF300L Rally on the street, you notice how composed it feels compared to more dirt-focused dual sports. The fairing cuts the wind, the suspension smooths bumps, and the engine can cruise at 65–70 miles per hour without strain. Take it off-road, and the lightweight suddenly matters a lot. You can pick your line easily, change direction quickly, and recover from mistakes without wrestling a 500-pound adventure behemoth. That makes it not only more fun but also safer for solo riders. It sits in an interesting position in the market. Compared to something like the Kawasaki KLX300, the Honda feels more polished, with rally styling and better long-distance comfort. Compared to Yamaha's WR250R, the Honda is more approachable and affordable, even if the WR is more performance-oriented. Against larger adventure bikes like Honda's own Africa Twin or the KTM 390 Adventure, the CRF300L Rally is lighter, simpler, and cheaper to own, while still giving you that adventure spirit. For new riders, it's a perfect entry into dual sports. For experienced riders, it's a second bike that excels when you want something light and easy. And for long-distance adventurers, it's a platform to build on. That versatility is rare, and it's why the Rally has such a loyal following. By the time you get off the bike after a long ride, you realize it's not about raw horsepower or flashy electronics. It's about freedom, agility, and reliability. The CRF300L Rally embodies those qualities in a way that few bikes manage. So if you're considering a bike that can handle city streets, back roads, gravel, and trails while still looking like a Dakar machine parked in your driveway, the 2025 Honda CRF300L Rally should be on your short list. It offers real adventure potential without breaking the bank or overwhelming the rider. And that's why Honda's lightweight rally bike continues to be one of the most respected and recommended dual sports year after year. It's the kind of motorcycle that makes you want to plan your next ride, even before you've finished the one you're on. Thanks for hanging out with Wheel Reverend for this in-depth look. Let me know in the comments where you'd take the Rally first. Would it be your commuter, your weekend trail companion, or the start of a round-the-world journey?